One of the ways that fashion magazines create a false facade of beauty and shame us is by using Photoshop and other editing tools to alter the appearance of models and celebrities. Photoshop is a software that allows users to manipulate images in various ways, such as changing the shape, size, color, and texture of objects and people. Editing tools can also be used to remove blemishes, wrinkles, scars, tattoos, and other imperfections from the skin. By using these tools, fashion magazines can make models and celebrities look flawless, unrealistic, and unattainable. They can make them look thinner, taller, younger, lighter, smoother, and more symmetrical than they really are. They can also enhance their features, such as making their eyes bigger, their lips fuller, their teeth whiter, and their hair shinier. Sometimes, they even combine different parts of different people to create a composite image that does not exist in reality. The problem with this practice is that it creates a distorted and deceptive image of beauty that affects how we perceive ourselves and others. It makes us feel inadequate, insecure, and dissatisfied with our own appearance. It makes us compare ourselves to unrealistic standards that are impossible to achieve. It makes us believe that we need to change ourselves to fit into a narrow and artificial definition of beauty. It makes us lose sight of our own uniqueness and diversity. Fashion magazines should not use Photoshop and other editing tools to alter the appearance of models and celebrities. They should not lie to us about what beauty looks like. They should not shame us for being who we are. They should celebrate the natural beauty of all people, regardless of their shape, size, age, color, or any other characteristic. They should promote a healthy and positive body image that respects and appreciates the diversity of human beauty. How fashion magazines promote unrealistic and unhealthy standards of beauty that can lead to low self-esteem, body dissatisfaction, and eating disorders. Fashion magazines are one of the most influential sources of beauty ideals in our society. They showcase images of models and celebrities that are often edited, enhanced, and manipulated to create a flawless appearance. These images set unrealistic and unattainable standards of beauty that most women cannot achieve or maintain. Research has shown that exposure to fashion magazines can have negative effects on women's body image satisfaction. For example, a study by Turner et al. 1997 found that women who viewed fashion magazines preferred to weigh less, were less satisfied with their bodies, were more frustrated about their weight, were more preoccupied with the desire to be thin, and were more afraid of getting fat than women who viewed news magazines. Another study by Tigman and Anderberg, 2020, found that viewing idealized images on Instagram increased women's body dissatisfaction and appearance comparison, while viewing Instagram versus reality images that showed the natural and unedited side of the same women decreased these negative effects. These findings suggest that fashion magazines can create a false facade of beauty that can make women feel inadequate and dissatisfied with their own appearance. This can lead to low self-esteem, poor self-confidence, and reduced well-being. Moreover, fashion magazines can also contribute to the development of eating disorders, such as anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa. Eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that are characterized by extreme and unhealthy behaviors related to food intake, weight, and shape. They can cause severe physical and psychological harm, and even death. One of the risk factors for eating disorders is internalizing the thin ideal promoted by fashion magazines. This means accepting and adopting the belief that thinness is desirable and necessary for attractiveness and success. Women who internalize the thin ideal are more likely to engage in dieting, binge eating, purging, excessive exercise, and other harmful behaviors to achieve or maintain a low weight. Therefore, fashion magazines can have a detrimental impact on women's mental and physical health by promoting unrealistic and unhealthy standards of beauty that can lead to low self-esteem, body dissatisfaction, and eating disorders. It is important to be aware of the falseness and harmfulness of these standards, and to challenge them with more realistic and diverse representations of beauty. Fashion magazines are not just a source of entertainment and inspiration for millions of women. They are also a powerful tool for influencing consumerism and creating a culture of comparison and competition among women. In this section, we will explore how fashion magazines shape women's perceptions of beauty, value, and success, and how they contribute to social and environmental problems. First, let's talk about how fashion magazines affect women's self-image and self-esteem. Fashion magazines are notorious for featuring unrealistic and unattainable standards of beauty, such as thinness, whiteness, youthfulness, and flawlessness. These standards are often achieved through digital manipulation, cosmetic surgery, extreme dieting, and professional styling. According to a study by the University of Minnesota, exposure to fashion magazines can lower women's body satisfaction, increase their drive for thinness, and trigger eating disorders. Fashion magazines can also make women feel inadequate and insecure about their appearance, their abilities, their relationships, and their achievements. A survey by Glamour magazine found that 97% of women had at least one negative thought about their body every day. Second, let's talk about how fashion magazines influence consumerism and spending habits. Fashion magazines are filled with advertisements and editorial content that promote the latest trends, products, and brands. They create a sense of urgency and scarcity that makes women feel like they need to buy more and more to keep up with the ever-changing fashion cycle. According to a report by McKinsey, the fashion industry delivered a 21% increase in revenues in 2020-21, despite the economic downturn caused by the pandemic. Fashion magazines also encourage women to associate their self-worth with their material possessions and social status. They suggest that buying certain clothes, accessories, cosmetics, or services can make women happier, more attractive, more successful, and more fulfilled. Third, let's talk about how fashion magazines create a culture of comparison and competition among women. Fashion magazines often feature celebrities, influencers, models, and other successful women who seem to have it all: beauty, wealth, fame, power, love, etc. They create unrealistic expectations and ideals that make women feel like they have to compete with each other for attention, approval, recognition, and resources. They also foster a sense of envy and resentment among women who feel like they are falling behind or missing out on something. A study by the University of Michigan found that exposure to images of attractive peers on social media can lower women's mood and self-esteem. Fashion magazines can also fuel gossip, criticism, judgment, and bullying among women who compare themselves unfavorably to others. Finally, let's talk about how fashion magazines contribute to social and environmental problems. Fashion magazines are part of the ultra-fast fashion industry that is eating the world. Ultra-fast fashion is a business model that produces cheap and disposable clothing at a high speed and volume. It exploits workers in developing countries who work under poor conditions and low wages. It also generates massive amounts of waste and pollution that harm the environment and human health. According to the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions, 20% of global wastewater, 24% of insecticides, and 11% of pesticides. Fashion magazines are complicit in this system by promoting overconsumption, obsolescence, and disposability. In conclusion, fashion magazines are not harmless or innocent publications. They have a significant impact on how women see themselves and others, how they spend their money and time, and how they affect the world around them. Fashion magazines create a false facade of beauty and shame us for not living up to it. They manipulate our emotions and desires to sell us more stuff that we don't need or want. They divide us into winners and losers based on superficial criteria that don't matter in the end. They contribute to social injustice and environmental degradation that threaten our future. It is time for us to question the messages and values that fashion magazines convey to us. It is time for us to reclaim our power and agency as consumers and citizens. It is time for us to redefine beauty and success on our own terms.